Hey everybody, my name's Tim Brooks, and I'm so excited today to show you how to create a bidding war for your property with multiple offers without having a bunch of people walking through your property who aren't serious about buying it. Now, before we get started, I just want to tell you that this system is so powerful and is going to give you such an unfair advantage that other old school and average realtors have called it unfair and downright evil. But I promise you, we're not going to be evil. We're just going to give you the most unfair advantage to get you the highest price in your entire neighborhood. Now, I'm guessing for a lot of you, this is probably not your first time selling. The first thing I want to mention is that if you failed at getting your property sold for the highest price in the past, it's not your fault. There are a lot of novice agents out there with plenty of advice. Most of it is outdated, and many times that old information can keep you from success. It's okay. If you've been concerned in the past that you can't get your home sold for what you need, I want to put those fears to rest. You can do this. You just need the right person to go through it with you. The old school agents and franchises want you to think that you need to discount your property and do a bunch of open houses. I'm here to tell you that they're wrong. They have their own reasons for wanting you to think that, but it isn't true. Now, real quick, just a quick sales price disclaimer. You are not going to sell your house for more than the maximum market value, even if we find a willing buyer, which is possible. I know that sounds harsh, but the bank appraisal will bring the price back down to the maximum appraised value unless it's a cash deal. We actually care about your success and truly want to see you living the life of your dreams, and being in the right home is a big part of that. So that's what we're here for. I know you've got a dream to give your family the best life possible. Your home is the backdrop for that life, and I want to show you how we can best make that happen during this presentation. Now, you may be asking yourself if this highly specialized program is for you. It's for you if you have a home you want to sell, if you tried to sell your home and failed to sell it in the past, and if you want to buy a home and have a house to currently sell. My goal for this presentation is to show you that the only way for you to get the highest possible sales price for your home is through creating a bidding war or multiple offers. And the only way to get multiple offers without discounting your price is through the Ultimate Listing System. If we can accomplish that, this will have been a great use of your time. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me reintroduce myself to you. My name's Tim Brooks, and I'm the lead agent and founder of the Ultimate Selling Team, which sells or lists on average one property every 24 hours. I'm the creator of the Ultimate Listing System, and my team was the #1 team in the market within 2 years of founding the team. I'm also the host of Agent to Agent on celebrity sales trainer Grant Cardone's Digital Business Network. Now, our show has a national following, and I'm a national real estate trainer and speaker. I've also been personally trained by Than Merrill from Flip This House and Grant Cardone, celebrity sales trainer. Every member of our team has been hand-selected based on their qualifications and background. These are the top agents in the industry. One of the fundamental things that sets us apart is that we work as a team. That gives us a tremendous advantage over other agents because it gives us massive outreach capability. We can reach more people in one day than other agents could in an entire month if that was all they did. It also allows us to coordinate and focus our efforts on pushing your home into the market in a way that other agents simply can't compete with. I want to tell you a quick story about Barbara. She's a former client of ours, and she is the reason that the Ultimate Listing System came into being. And her story is why we feel so passionately about it. So Barbara's daughter had lived in Florida for the past 5 years. She had been diagnosed with cancer 6 months prior to Barbara coming to us to sell her house, and Barbara's daughter's treatment had been rough. Barbara decided to sell her house in Maryland and move to Florida to be with her daughter and the grandkids. Now, Barbara hadn't seen them much over the past 5 years. Barbara shared with us that she wanted to be with her sick daughter in Florida for as much time as possible, and that she didn't know how much time she was actually going to have left with her daughter. She told me that she wanted to be a good mom and that she wanted her daughter to know that she was loved. So she needed to sell her house for full price to be able to move to Florida and pay off her home and financially afford the move. So our team, the Ultimate Selling Team, had agreed to sell Barbara's house, but we knew it was going to be a real challenge to sell it because her house needed to be listed at the top of its potential price range. And another agent had already tried to sell it and failed. On top of that, the house needed some updating and there needed to be more work done around the property. Barbara needed to sell it though at full price to get enough money to cover her expenses and the mortgage and have enough to move to Florida to be near her daughter. Over the course of 2 months, we had received 2 separate offers, each 1 month apart from the other. Now, neither offer was even close to the asking price, and after intense negotiations, neither buyer was willing to come up to the price that Barbara needed. The negotiations were frustrating because we had no real leverage on the price, and the buyer's desire for the property just simply wasn't high enough. Barbara's daughter's situation was getting worse by the day, and Barbara was feeling stuck. We had already tried all of the advanced conventional techniques which had generated the previous 2 offers. We were really under the gun and wanted to get Barbara to her daughter's side as quickly as possible. We got together as a team to figure this out and make this sale happen for Barbara. So far, buyers were passing on the property because the price had been too high for the current condition of the property, and our conventional methods were falling flat. The only other thing that might work was to create a bidding war for the property. In other words, 2 offers at the same time to create a competitive desire for the property. This would give us negotiating leverage if more than one person were interested at the same time, and we were missing that leverage in the previous negotiations. Usually a bidding war or multiple offer situation happens when a property looks great, is perceived as underpriced, or it's in a highly desirable location. Now, Barbara's location was good, but we were still missing a couple things to make it look great, and it certainly wasn't perceived as underpriced. I concluded that somehow we needed to create an intense desire for Barbara's property in more than one buyer at the same time. The previous offers we received came out of a massive buyer database that we had developed over the past 3 years. In the past, our team members were usually assigned a certain number of these potential buyers and would call them from time to time. We had 10 people working these leads as they saw fit without any real coordination with each other. And then it hit me. We'd been investing in developing this massive database of buyers, and they registered on our MLS search site over the previous 3 years. But what if we could harness this massive database and push a single property to all of them at the same time to create immediate interest in this one particular property from multiple buyers? The key was high interest at the same time. The problem is that we needed to make actual phone contact to pitch this one single property to thousands of people within a 48-hour period of time. One team member said it'll take weeks or months to get through that entire list. And the problem was that even though we had 10 people on our team calling every single day, there were over 14,000 people on that buyer list that we needed to make contact with. That would take weeks, and we only had 48 hours. We began randomly calling our massive database, but half of the first 1,000 people we reached out to weren't ready to buy. Most said they were a year or so out from being ready, and many of the others were looking in a different price range. The buyers that were actively looking in Barbara's price range didn't get overly excited about the photos that we sent them. It wasn't anything they couldn't already see on Zillow or our own search site where we got them from in the first place. It didn't cut through the clutter of properties that they were already seeing. Our plan seemed to be going nowhere fast. The showings we did generate were spaced too far apart in time, not the 48-hour window that we needed, so the same scenario materialized as before. 2 more offers spread too far apart in time, so we couldn't negotiate one against the other. Barbara was beginning to lose hope, but the team was determined to make this happen, and we'd become emotionally invested in the outcome. So I went back and analyzed the data from our buyer list and discovered a crucial piece of information that would help us determine who was ready to buy now and who wasn't. Our specialized software already gave us the ability to see which buyer was looking at houses in a particular price range and neighborhood. So we decided to focus on contacting only those that were more likely to be ready now and receptive to this price range. Another team member reminded me that the responses to the standard marketing that we were sending out was lackluster, that a buyer could simply see that stuff on Zillow like we talked about. Now, we weren't showing them anything special. I then asked the question, what if we created a marketing package that was so compelling, so sexy, and featured every upgrade and benefit in a way that buyers simply couldn't ignore it? Something that would allow them to see themselves in the house and realize the property's maximum value. A marketing package so powerful and different that the buyers themselves would feel special and like they were really in on something. So we figured out and implemented some of the most cutting-edge marketing available today, and I'm going to share that with you in this presentation. This marketing package was so over the top that it not only cut through the bombardment of real estate photos and Zillow listings that these buyers were looking at, but it actually increased these buyers' perceived value and desirability of Barbara's property. So remember that buyer list we were talking about? Well, we figured out a way to segment this list and focus our calling power on the most likely buyers to buy now. I'll show you exactly how it works later in this presentation. The result, though, was that 22 people requested showings, and the first 2 wrote offers on the spot. 2 more wrote offers sight unseen based on the marketing package. In all, we ended up with 8 offers. When it was said and done, we ended up accepting an offer for $10,000 above Barbara's list price. Now, during the contract phase, the house didn't appraise for more than the asking price. However, the buyers were willing to pay the difference out of pocket because there was a special feature to her home that they needed for their own kids. When we had closed on the deal, Barbara was in tears. She told us that she had lost all hope and now she couldn't believe what had happened. She hugged me so hard as if they were going to take it away from her right there on the spot. Barbara got enough money from the sale to move to Florida, 1 block away from her daughter, and she was able to help her daughter with the bills and watching the grandkids. Now, a quick update though on Barbara's daughter. After her battle with cancer, I'm happy to say Barbara's daughter is cancer-free today. In the end, Barbara was able to be the mother that she needed and wanted to be. And after this experience, our team knew right then and there why we do what we do. We also knew that we were onto something. We knew that this new system we had discovered changes everything. We figured out the secret formula to creating an intense desire in more than one buyer at the same time. And this became the key to creating a bidding war in real estate without discounting the price. But it's not just for Barbara. Catherine listed her house and got multiple offers at full price within 2 weeks. Rob sold his house in a week at full price with multiple offers and was able to downsize. And Jess got 3 offers for her house and now lives in North Carolina. Now, this doesn't work for just certain houses. This works for large luxury homes, it works for condos, it works for townhouses, it works for starter homes, and everything in between. It works if your home needs a little work and if your home was just renovated. Thanks to our experience with Barbara, we learned after 10 years. Now, sellers have been forced to do this the hard way for the last 30 years in an industry that does not want to move forward and innovate. So, sellers have been having to deal with average photos that are uninspiring, obsolete advertising that hasn't worked in years, open houses with buyers walking through weekend after weekend, showings from disinterested buyers that were never interested in the property in the first place, indifferent agents that don't care if an offer is submitted, if it doesn't, and then don't know how to negotiate it if you've got one. Keeping the house spotless for months is no fun. And then to top all that off, they want you to discount that property and still give them 6% for it. And then you're stuck on the market for 3 months or more. So if you've been struggling, this is probably why. There is a better way. Okay, now I'm going to jump into the presentation. If you've got your pad of paper out there, be sure that you're taking notes because I'm going to be going over this stuff really, really fast, and I want to make sure that you're paying a lot of attention. Secret number 1, a concept on creating an artificial market. I'm going to show you how to push buyers into the market for your home and how to create a bidding war between them. Secret number 2, virtual showings. We're going to learn how to showcase your home's unique value to get you the highest price in just one weekend. And the third thing I'm going to show you, once you've gotten your home sold for lots of money, you're going to need to move somewhere. So I want to show you how to find the house that you want, even when you don't see it or it doesn't currently exist on the market. Okay, secret number one. I'm going to show you how to push buyers into the market for your home and how to create a bidding war between them. Remember how I was telling you about Barbara's story and how when we originally used traditional real estate methods, the team struggled with attracting offers that were high enough to get full price? Now, normally, most agents just put a sign in your front yard, put it in the multiple listing service, and pray that someone will come along. Now, there are only so many buyers out in the market actively looking with agents at any one time. And on top of that, there are so many properties that are competing on the market. Using those traditional methods, which is what 90% of the agents out there use, the 3P method, and the other 10% still use the conventional stuff that doesn't work anymore. So after a couple of weeks on the market, your property gets lost. It's kind of like being on the bottom shelf back aisle at the bottom dollar grocery store. We need to put you at the checkout at Trader Joe's. And not only that, we need to pack the store with shoppers. And that's what this system does. So the end result that we need to create is an intense desire for your property in more than one buyer at the same time. I cannot stress enough the importance of more than one buyer at the same time. That means within 48 hours. One buyer must be leveraged against the other. That's what creates a bidding war. Some buyers might drop out, but by attracting enough buyers, most will compete for the property if their desire is strong enough. Secret number one is about attracting buyers. We'll cover creating a strong enough desire in secret number two. We figured out in our brainstorming meeting with Barbara's property that we needed to harness our calling power and focus it like a laser on a specific segment of our buyers list that was most likely to buy now. We needed to create our own artificial market. It's kind of like how a Wall Street stock brokerage has the ability to create an artificial market for an initial public offering using the power of its own brokerage's client base and calling ability. So how do we create our artificial market? Well, step one, it starts with a large buyer list. Without our own buyer list, we're really just subject to the random forces of the market and random buyers shown by random agents that may or may not be in your price range or actively looking at that time. So having our own nurtured buyer list gives control back to us so that we can actively push your property to buyers that are in the market now that we've developed. Now, most agents don't have access to a list like this or even the means to develop one because they're prohibitively expensive. It takes specialized marketing, and we've had to invest $125,000 a year for the last 3 years just to develop the list we're working off of now. Step two is going to be to nurture and qualify this buyer list. One of the things we discovered is the average buying cycle for a person who signs up on our list through the website looking at properties is 403 days. Now that gives us specialized knowledge to properly nurture each buyer until they're qualified and ready to buy. Step three, we need to segment this buyer list. For our system to work, we realized that we needed technology that will allow us to monitor our buyer search activity, including their price range, the area that they're looking in. We need to know that information in real time as they're searching. We also needed to be able to search and segment that list in seconds based on all of those factors so that we can match it to your home's criteria. This has given us a tremendous market advantage when combined with the highly coordinated and skilled team members that we've got. The fourth step is to have a highly skilled and trained team. Having a team of 10 highly skilled agents has given us a huge ability to reach a massive amount of buyers quickly, which is key. Traditionally in the real estate world, most agents don't belong to a team. And of the existing teams that are out there, most function as individual agents and independent contractors on a team, and they simply just operate under a team owner that passes out some leads to them. There usually isn't much cooperation or interaction between the team members. We figured out that that was the one thing that we needed to change in the industry to really harness the calling power that we have. Step number 5, focused calling power. And this is key. It's one of the pieces to the secret sauce. Now, our team is unique in that we all work as one on the same transactions and in a coordinated way. It's kind of like getting 10 agents for the price of one. We start our day off by briefing on our listing with all of its features, all of its benefits. We review the marketing, the 3D model, the video walkthrough so that everybody is really excited about our property. And then we segment our list, figure out who's going to be the right buyers to call, and we focus like a laser and call. That has given us the ability to reach 1,000 potential buyers per day. The average transaction has 181 tasks that have to be completed from start to finish. Usually all of that stuff is transaction coordination, things like dealing with the earnest money deposit, the title companies, home inspectors, HOA documents, putting things in the MLS, descriptions, etc. Now, because of all of those tasks, it's virtually impossible for the average agent to spend any time calling for any buyers or marketing at all, let alone enough people to actually be effective at it. Now, having a skilled and coordinated team gave us the ability to reach 1,000 people a day. So one of the major keys to creating a bidding war is to be able to quickly direct massive calling power to a large and segmented buyer list. Now, the cool thing is, this didn't just work for Barbara. It works for all kinds of people. Look, here's Raj. He always thought that there was no real value in a listing agent and that his previous agents just put his property into MLS and waited for a buyer to find it on Zillow. It was probably true. He resented paying anything but a buyer agent commission. When he used our listing system, though, his property sold for $5,000 above his asking price in 1 week. But it doesn't just work for Barbara and Raj, it works for all kinds of property types. It works for modest homes, older homes, dated homes, and even unique homes. There is a market for every budget and every property type. Now, at this point, you might be asking yourself, well, what if I know an agent that lives in my neighborhood? Won't they understand my property better? According to the National Association of Realtors, the average successful full-time agent sells 5 or less houses per year. The problem is that the neighborhood agents tend to be part-time, which means they sell even fewer homes. They're also the most likely to be the part-time dabblers that you'll hear me refer to from time to time. One other thing is that your neighbors are not going to be the ones that buy your home. People from outside the neighborhood are. So I would ask, what is that agent's access to a large amount of outside buyers? I want to tell you a quick story to illustrate the point because the part-time neighborhood dabbler is the most dangerous agent out there to a seller. So this story is about a college ceramics class. The ceramics teacher announced on opening day that he was dividing the class into 2 groups. All of those on the left side of the studio, he said, would be graded solely on the quantity of the work they produced. All of those on the right side solely on its quality. His procedure was simple. On the final day of class, he would bring in his bathroom scales and weigh the work of the quantity group. 50 pounds of pots rated an A, 40 pounds a B, and so on. Those being graded on quality, however, needed to produce only 1 pot, albeit a perfect one, to get an A. Well, along came grading time, and a curious fact emerged. The works of the highest quality were all produced by a group being graded on quantity. It seems that while the quantity group was busy churning out piles of work and learning from their mistakes, the quality group had sat theorizing about perfection. And in the end, they had little more to show for their efforts than grandiose theories and a pile of dead clay. The moral of that story is that experience matters. And I'm not talking about years of experience because the real estate industry is filled with people with 40 years of experience and 10 transactions to their name. I'm talking about the number of transactions matters. We've done so many transactions that we've learned every nuance of the contract, every pitfall, everything that can go wrong, and how to negotiate in any circumstance possible. It's kind of like if you needed emergency heart surgery, which cardiologist do you want to go to? The one that's done hundreds and hundreds of that particular procedure, or the one that's only done a handful? Now, you also might be thinking that RE/MAX or Long & Foster or Keller Williams or whatever brokerage the agent belongs to makes a difference, right? The role of the brokerage through time has changed. Back in the pre-internet, pre-digital era, the role of the brokerage was vital, both for caravans, so people knew what was on the market because they couldn't look on the internet, and the MLS system, which is kind of funny now, was just a big book full of paper listings. Now, it's an outdated model. It's been baked into the industry through law, so they still exist. The thing is, they have virtually no role in the selling of actual property anymore. especially since print media fell to the wayside. The brokerage's primary role is to recruit agents and make sure nobody violates the laws. They make money from nickel and diming the part-time dabblers we talked about with fees like brokerage fees, desk fees, MLS fees, technology fees, training fees, etc. All marketing and sales fall strictly to the individual agent or team in today's market, with maybe the exception of a picture on the brokerage website that nobody sees anyway. So even if you love a certain brokerage that's been good in the past, they play virtually no part in the actual sale of your home today. You also might be thinking that the agent who believes in the highest price for listing your home is the best agent to go with, right? I mean, doesn't that mean maybe they know something that others don't? I want to share with you that starting at the correct price for listing your home is critical to getting the most amount of money for your home. When an agent agrees to any listing price just to get a listing, this is known in the industry as buying the listing. It's one of the hallmarks of an inexperienced agent or often unscrupulous agents that just want to get your listing so they can hopefully get a bunch of buyer calls off of that listing that they'll go sell something else to. And in fact, the longer your home stays on the market, the more calls they get to go sell other properties to. They still make money off of your property if it sells or not. Overpricing a home simply causes the listing to remain unsold and go stale in the marketplace, which then leads to multiple price reductions, usually resulting in a sale price below market value. The correct method to get the truly highest price is to list your house at its full market value and then create interest in multiple buyers at the same time. Unless the agents studied my course, it's likely they'll neither have the skills nor the resources to effectively do that. So, as you can see, multiple offers are the key to creating a bidding war and getting above market price or full price offers on your property. And this can only reliably be achieved by pushing multiple interested buyers into the market for your property at the same time. And moving on to secret number 2, I'm very excited about this secret: virtual showings. How to increase the perceived value of your home and hopefully get an offer in as little as the first weekend. Remember how I was sharing with you when we had sold Barbara's home earlier that we had developed these great lists of buyers and the ability to reach 1,000 of them a day? And that was all great because that was a really powerful tool, but the marketing that we were sharing with these particular buyers was just the standard real estate industry marketing stuff. It just didn't work. It was kind of like having a tremendously powerful cannon and shooting Nerf balls out of it. The objective was to create an intense desire for Barbara's property in more than one buyer at the same time. We had to figure out how to get multiple buyers at the same time, but how do we create the intense desire? We needed something that would really wow our buyers and focus them in on this one property. Everything about this property needed to be different and special. It needed to highlight every single dollar of value in this home. Have you ever been to a high-end store where they don't even put the price tag on items? Or maybe a restaurant where the presentation is so over the top that you know it's going to be expensive? It isn't even the food that's great, but the atmosphere and presentation is. This made me think of a story I heard from renowned high-end luxury real estate guru Jack Cotton. Jack told me how his wife wanted a leather bag for Christmas. Usually she never tells him what she wants for Christmas, and he thought, wow, this year it's going to be really easy, until she told him what kind she wanted. Then he realized it was not going to be easy. So he went to Boston to the Copley, the store that sells these leather bags. It was the kind of store that had been around for 130 years or something like that, and they spend millions of dollars a year in marketing and hundreds of thousands of dollars outfitting the store. It was beautiful, a display rack, a guy with a suit that opens the door for you. So they walk into the store and there's this bag way up high on the shelf. The salesperson comes from behind the counter. She's barely 5 feet tall, and Jack was saying that he was thinking they must have a pole or a stick that she's gonna go up to that bag and knock it off the shelf or something. And how's she gonna get that stick down in time to catch the bag and put it on the counter so she can show it to us? I mean, this is something he's gonna wanna see. But that's not exactly what happened. Here's what did happen. Oh, you'd like to see that bag? She opened a drawer, she pulled out a piece of black velvet, she spread it out on the counter, then she reaches further into the drawer and she pulls out some pure, perfect white cotton gloves. and she puts those on. She then gets a ladder that's more like stairs because you can walk up it with no hands, and goes up the stairs, grabs the bag with 2 hands and lays it down on the black velvet on the counter in front of Jack and his wife. At that point, Jack's wife is drooling over the bag and Jack is drooling over the combination of showmanship and salesmanship that came together in the display of this bag, the value that she conveyed in the display of this bag. And that is exactly what must be done in the display of your property to cause intense desire in a potential buyer. Let me show you how we do that. First, we start with a professional videographer to create an HGTV quality video walkthrough of the property using specialized video equipment to give a gliding effect through the property. Real estate relies heavily on visual motivators, and there's no better way to show off the virtues of a home than through video. Video gives the prospective buyer the feeling of moving through the home and is far more descriptive of the space than still images can ever hope to be. Real estate video marketing conveys information effortlessly and quickly, and viewers can see how rooms and spaces connect and get a feel for the flow of the house or the property. Video is also a great way to show accurate room size and home features. This property was one of our actual listings. Next, we use an online 3D showcase so home buyers can move through a property and see it from any angle. A 3D showcase more completely immerses visitors so they can create an emotional connection, which is key. Our distinct dollhouse view gives home buyers a completely unique sense of the property, and it even comes in virtual reality. We also have the ability to tag upgrades and extra value-add features, and that's key also to extracting the highest sales price possible.
In 2017, 95% of home buyers searched for a home online. The internet is now the first place people will discover your home, and having an engaging, comprehensive listing is more important than ever. Your agent has chosen the Matterport 3D Showcase to help present your listing online. With a Matterport 3D Showcase, potential buyers can take a tour of your home from the comfort of theirs, as if they are actually there. A Matterport 3D Showcase is so much more than a traditional virtual tour or video. It is fully interactive. The buyer can choose where they want to go and what they want to see, just like an in-person showing. Because the Matterport camera captures in 3D, you actually feel like you're there and not simply sliding through photos. With MatterTag posts, your agent can highlight the key features that make your home special. Potential buyers won't have to rely on a brief listing description. Instead, they can see those features exactly where they are in your home. The Matterport 3D Showcase is designed to be easy for everyone to use. Simply press play for an automated walkthrough of the home. If they see something they like, they can stop the tour and explore the area in more detail. The entire scanning process should take your agent somewhere between 1 to 2 hours, depending on the size of the home. When the tour is ready, your agent will post it to your listing, and Matterport works great on social media sites. You can post a link to the tour, add short teaser videos, or upload a 360 photo of your property straight to Facebook. We know that selling a home can be stressful, but with a Matterport 3D Showcase, your home will be available for a showing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without disrupting your daily routine. By investing in the latest technology, your agent is investing in you. So sit back and relax. With a Matterport 3D Showcase on your listing, selling your home just got a whole lot easier.
Third, we like to use a cinematic drone angle. There's a reason that the high-budget house hunting television shows often start with an aerial view of the property and surrounding areas. Aerial photography is unique and very difficult to emulate from the ground. These days, using a drone to capture the home from its most flattering angles, plus a look at the neighborhood, provides an ideal view of the entire space in one shot. Buyers interested in larger homes and expansive properties are given the best glimpse of everything at once to catch their interest. I found that drone photography gave me a wider variety of photographs for the listing so that I could truly provide buyers with everything they're looking for. When combined, these tools are visually stunning. They need to be tightly packaged together in a way that can be easily texted, emailed, and shared on social media with all potential buyers. This is why we integrate them into their own mobile optimized property site. This makes it easy for us to send it quickly and then follow up immediately to qualify the buyer and set up a live showing. We found that because the marketing package was so cutting edge and impressive, that our potential buyers were actually sharing it with other people that they knew. Many of them have never seen anything quite like it. There's one more step to put a cherry on top. This video package is then packaged into a video book custom designed for your property. The video book looks and feels like a book, but when you open it, there's a video screen that automatically starts playing a video in the 3D dollhouse view of your property. These are also good to leave at your showings to leave a lasting impression to further increase a potential buyer's emotional response once they leave your property. Because buyers often look at 3 or more properties in one day, some properties blend with the others in their memory. Buyers tend to make offers on properties that are the most memorable. We intend to make that your property. So now that we have a truly impressive and memorable marketing package, the way it works is our incredible team segments the list into those buyers in your price range, property type, and area. Then they focus their calling power over a 48-hour period to reach at least 2,000 potential buyers. The marketing package is pushed to those buyers by phone, email, and text. Those that are interested are then qualified with a lender and a showing time is set. It's critical that this process happen within a 48-hour period to have the best chance at generating a bidding war. The 48-hour deadline is critical, which is why having the ability and capacity to reach that many people quickly is so important. What's great is that you don't need a house fit for HGTV for this to work. Guy had a property that was dated and sat on 8 acres of land. It needed to be updated badly. By applying these 3 secrets, Guy was able to sell his property in 2 weeks at full asking price. The drone was especially helpful to showcase his 8 acres of land. Now, you might be thinking that when you list your home, you'll have to keep it spotless or in showing condition for months on end, right? Well, the reality is, if you price your house correctly and put our system to work for you, you may only have to show your house over as little as a weekend. Once you receive an offer that you like and you put your home under contract, then you're done showing it and you can begin the packing process. Now, packing can be messy, but you don't have to worry about the mess because your home's already under contract and you're moving anyway. You might also be thinking that it's way too much work to get your house ready to showcase to prospective buyers. The reality is that it'll take some work depending on the present state of your property, but we'll provide a detailed room-by-room plan to make the task easier. If you're too busy or you just don't feel like doing it, then we have a list of professionals that can help you. Most new clients take a few weeks to make updates and declutter the property. You're moving anyway, so you're going to be packing most of that stuff. Just think how happy you'll be in your new house. It will be worth it. You might be thinking that you only trust agents who were referred to you by your friends or family or agents that you've already heard of, right? Well, generally, this is a good idea if somebody you know has a good experience with another agent. Most agents are part-time dabblers in real estate, so on average, the referred agent is a safer bet than a random agent. Track record is everything. Remember what I said earlier, the average agent sells less than 5 houses a year? You don't want an agent to practice on your most expensive asset. There was this one time we took over a listing from a family who had their daughter list the property for them. She didn't have much experience and kind of made a mess of it. The problem was that the whole family had a falling out over it and the home didn't sell anyway. Luckily, we took over the listing and we got it sold, and we even gave a referral fee to the daughter to smooth things over for the family. And we'll gladly do the same if this applies to you. We also invite licensed family members or friends to participate in the transaction by helping to find a buyer. You might also be thinking that your spouse may not be as excited to sell the house and move as you are. And many times this is the case. We've found that they are generally not as excited because they have not found another home that excites them enough to deal with moving. This problem is usually solved during the home search process. If this applies to you, then we need to start the home search process with your spouse's specific preferences in mind. With all the exciting homes on the market today, we're certain we'll find just the right home that you'll both love together. It's important that there is something your spouse loves about the new house that's stronger than his or her reasons to avoid the hassle of moving. So as you can see, creating an intense desire through cutting-edge virtual showings is the key to getting offers in as little as one weekend. When you combine this with the highly targeted buyers and our ability to contact 1,000 people a day, you can see why this is so powerful, right? I don't know about you, but this is one of the most exciting things to happen to the real estate industry since browsing online first came out. Now, the average age in the real estate industry is 59. When I share this with most of the older agents, they just don't quite get it. When I share the system with the top agents, though, they're blown away. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better. Secret number 3, market inventory hack. How to find the house you want even when you don't see it on the market. So let me tell you about Fedora and PJ. They're also former clients of ours who had tremendous success using our listing system. They also received multiple offers for their property and ultimately sold their home within 2 weeks of putting it on the market. Now that's all great, but they had another problem. Fedora and PJ were a little surprised at how quickly their home had sold, and they hadn't yet found a house to buy. They had a very specific type of house they wanted in a specific neighborhood and school district. To make matters worse, there was a limited amount of housing inventory on the market, and we were under contract to close in 45 days. They had fears of having to live in a hotel or worse, staying with relatives with their stuff in storage. Because of that, they were even considering backing out of the sale of their home that we had just put under contract. So because our initial basic multiple listing search that we did for Fedora and PJ came up empty, we were really under the gun to find something quickly. When working with the buyer, the first thing we're looking to do is assemble a list of acceptable properties that fit what the buyer both wants and needs. That means both their spoken and unspoken desires. Now, not every buyer initially knows what they want, but they do know it when they see it. So we need to have a large variety of properties to present. This list needs to be built through a process, especially when there isn't a huge amount of variety on the market currently through the MLS search. So first, because there wasn't a lot of time to spend several weekends looking at random properties based on vague descriptions, we needed to get laser focused on what we were looking for. So we developed an in-depth interview process to really find out what was important to have and not have in a new property. This helped to clarify Fedora and PJ's own vague ideas and make it very clear what they wanted and why. Step 2. We needed to do a deep multiple listing search. The majority of real estate agents who list properties are new or part-time agents, and when entering properties into the MLS, they miss things or they leave things out. As experts in our own MLS system, we know a few tricks and hacks to find those missing details, even if it means going through every property with a fine-tooth comb. 90% of the time, we're able to find what we're looking for. Step 3, off-market inventory. And this is the most exciting and special part of the process because it gives us access to properties that nobody else has access to. That's off-market inventory. We ask our clients to pick the school district, neighborhood, or development that they're interested in. We've acquired access to every homeowner name, address, cell number, and in 35% of these records, we have email addresses. This has taken a tremendous amount of time and money to develop, but it gives us a huge advantage for our clients. We then proceed to call and contact by phone, email, or even door-to-door if need be, the entire development searching for potential sellers. Now, because statistically homeowners sell their homes on average every 7 years, the statistics say that 1 out of 7 owners are going to be in the market to buy and sell in any given calendar year. Because of our tremendous calling power, we can cover an average-sized development in a single day. Larger developments like Clarksburg or Urbana can take as long as a week due to their sheer size. These properties are great because nobody else has access to the deal, so we don't have to worry about multiple offers to compete with. This is especially helpful with a hot property. This technique is unique to our team. Even if another agent has access to the data and the wherewithal to do it, they simply don't have the trained manpower. This is similar to how high net worth clients order vehicles and clothes. You don't have to choose from inventory, you get to custom order it just for you. Step 4, pocket deals. We leverage our relationships with other real estate agents for listings that they have that aren't on the market yet. These are what are known as pocket deals. This can be a great source of inventory. If we can get to the deal first, it can give us a tremendous advantage. Step 5 is our referral network. Now, we're part of a proprietary network of top agents in the country, And if you're moving out of state, we can refer you to the top negotiating agent in the new location that you're headed to. Trust me, you don't want to get stuck with a random part time agent or what we call a dabbler. Your home purchase is too important, and there's just too much money at stake to get stuck with an amateur. And finally, step 6, to build on the last point, we are expert negotiators. We've developed specific and reliable negotiating techniques that gain you the most value as a seller and then as a buyer. Our system is so duplicatable that we hired an MIT mathematician to turn our strategies and techniques into a mathematical formula and algorithm, which we then turned into a training app for our buyers and sellers. This is proprietary to the Ultimate Listing System and the Ultimate Selling team. This didn't just work for Fedor and PJ. Tony just sold his house with us for full price, and in 4 days, he had a 30-day contract. So he didn't have much time to find his new house. Based on our buyer interview and applying these techniques, we were able to lead him right to the perfect house on the first showing. Now, you might be thinking that if you can't get a certain price that you want for your home, that you're just going to keep it until the market goes up enough that you'll get it. Now, what happens sometimes is that certain homes and neighborhoods go up in value for one reason or another faster than other neighborhoods. It's usually related to some factor of desirability or demand, such as a school district, a new shopping center, or maybe even an overabundance of new construction. If you stay in the current property or move to an area with a higher appreciation rate, both homes will go up and down in value at a certain rate. If you're stuck in a property with a slower rate of appreciation, it might be better to get out of that slow-moving vehicle and get into something that moves a little faster. Any loss that you may perceive in the old house can be made up in the new property. You've got to live somewhere, so you might as well do it in a home that you'll enjoy and still get the benefit of a faster appreciation rate and value. You might also be thinking that you should wait to put your house on the market until you find a house you like, right? Now, this makes perfect logical sense. The problem is that most people need to sell the old house in order to qualify for their mortgage on the new house. So even if you started looking and found the perfect house before you sold the old one, the chances are strong that it'll be long gone before you're actually able to get your property on the market and sold. Now, most sellers will not accept a home to sell contingency, and even if they did, you give up all of your negotiating leverage. You'll perpetually be chasing your tail, and this can be very frustrating. The best thing to do is to put your property on the market and negotiate terms for a longer closing period to give you adequate time to put our system into place. Usually a 45 to 60-day contract is more than enough time. Then both closings are coordinated for the same day. We can even negotiate terms for you to stay in your current property past the closing date. So now I've shown you how you can find any property you want, even if it's not currently on the market. Isn't that awesome? So there we are, the 3 secrets of the Ultimate Listing System. I've shown you how to create an artificial market and how to push buyers into the market for your home and how to create a bidding war between them. We've talked about virtual showings. I've shown you how to increase the perceived value of your home and also how to work with off-market inventory, how to find the home that you want even if it doesn't exist on the market. So let me ask you, if you followed what I showed you in secret number 1 and you created a bidding war for your property and then did what I showed you in secret number 2 and used our super sexy marketing package to cause intense desire for your property, and then you use secret number 3 to find your next home even if it's not currently on the market, do you think you could be successful? Now, what if we totally screwed up and you only got one full price offer? What if we really messed up and you only got $10,000 more than an average agent would get you? Would that work for you? So let me ask you a question. Who's excited about what we just talked about? And who's feeling overwhelmed because we've just covered so much? If it's okay with you, I'd like to spend 3 minutes going over a very special offer I created to help you implement the Ultimate Listing System. We have this cool package. Let me show you what you're going to get. Here's what we're going to cover. The MLS listing itself, pricing your home to sell, the segmented buyers list, the coordinated team calls to the list, the super sexy marketing package, negotiating strategies, open houses, contract to close, and your next home options. Now let me show you some people who have had a chance to go through this. Let me introduce you to Nick Civil. Prior to working with us, Nick tried to sell his house with another agent and it failed to sell. Nick sold his house using our system for $1.3 million. And then there's Grayson. Grayson had listed his house with Redfin the year before, hoping to save some money. Redfin didn't work. He needed top dollar, so Grayson used our system and sold his property for $485,000, which was a record for his Clarksburg neighborhood. The next highest sale for his property type was $460,000. And probably my favorite story is about Dwayne. Dwayne bought a house that had all kinds of structural and septic problems. It was literally falling apart, and Dwayne was moving out of state for a new job. He was desperate to sell quickly. However, he needed a certain price for it to pay off the mortgage. Dwayne listed his house for $160,000, but we found a buyer willing to pay $175,000. Now, on a funny side note, we had to actually sell Dwayne's house 6 times because even though we disclosed every problem with the property, for every new buyer, some new problem showed up and it would ruin the financing. Needless to say, Dwayne was ecstatic and able to move out of state to his new job. So I want to go back and make sure you realize who this is for. It's for those that have a great looking house. It's for those that have a dated house that needs work. It's for those that have a multi-million-dollar home and for those trying to sell their first starter homes. It works for single family homes, townhouses, condos, large developments, new construction, large acreage, rural homes, tiny homes, big homes, newer homes. This works for all properties and all types of sellers. Now you might be thinking you can't get started with this because it'll be a lot of work to get your house ready. Here's why that's a mistake that'll hold you back from being happy in your new home. Property values are going up, and don't you think it would be better to gain equity while enjoying your new home? We'll give you a detailed plan to get your house in shape. Remember, if you don't feel like doing it, we have access to a staff of professional organizers, stagers, movers, and trash removal. You tell us what you need, and we'll help make it happen. Think of how great it'll be when it's done. When you sign up with us, you're going to get our base listing and buyer's agent commission paid. Your listing will be syndicated over 363 websites and platforms across the web. That's a 4% value. Now, even though we directly negotiate your deal for you, as part of this package, you're going to get our negotiating platform. You input your desired target price, and based on hundreds of negotiating patterns, it predicts potential buyer counteroffers and suggests strategic additional counter moves to get the buyer to our desired price. This software is currently in its beta testing phase. What's even better is that we've developed this software and you get us too. We've spent over $30,000 developing this tool to benefit our clients. On average, our expertise in the software tool adds a total value of $8,277 to the net that our sellers take away at closing. With our base listing package and negotiating secrets, you're going to be seen across the web, be displayed on all major real estate websites, have prominent placement on all real estate search and valuation sites, and you're going to be able to negotiate like a professional. With that, you're going to be able to get rid of bad negotiating tactics, unskilled agents, not knowing if your deal is good, and uncertainty about the right move. You might be wondering, well, what happens if these people, these multiple buyers, submit low offers? Don't worry, we are experts at turning any offer into full price contracts. When you list with us today, you're also going to get access to that huge buyer list that we talked about. You're also going to get our Smart Match system, which predicts the most likely buyers to be a match for your particular property. You're also going to get all 10 agents' coordinated calling power, pushing your property out into that list. We're going to make 2 direct contacts to each person on that list, pitching your property and sending out that super sexy marketing package. You're also going to get the more traditional marketing. We're going to make 3 custom marketing pieces to go along with your property. Now, although each one of these is so powerful, they need to be combined, and that's a value of 1.5%. We figured out what worked, but we also figured out what didn't work. Many times we learn the hard way, and that usually means that it cost us thousands of dollars. We painstakingly developed and nurtured the buyer list that we talked about over the last 3 years at a cost of over $360,000. You'll get the benefit of them all. Most agents have no idea who they're marketing to, if they're even marketing at all. We don't just sit back and wait for marketing to do something. We know who we're reaching out to in order to make it happen. The good news is that when you put your house on the market, you're going to know that you're going to get the most amount of money possible. It also means that you'll only have to deal with the hassle of showing your home for a very short time. Now, when you list your home with us today, you're also going to get our 24-hour virtual open house package. You're going to get 30 professional photos. You're going to get an HGTV style video fly through, the 3D Dollhouse VR experience. You're going to get an HGTV style drone video. You're going to get the exclusive mobile and social enabled web package. And if you so choose, you'll also get a live open house. At great expense, we've hired the best professional videographers and technicians available. Even though this cutting-edge marketing system is expensive, it's so powerful, and it's what multiplies the effects of our calling power. When potential buyers and your neighbors see your listing with these features, they'll instantly understand the value of your property without you having to point out every upgrade hoping that they get it. You can just sit back and start packing. So you're going to get the basic listing package, negotiating secrets, the buyer's list, the 24-hour open house. So far, that's a total value of 6.5%. So what about off-market inventory? When you list with us today, you're also going to get our entire off-market inventory package. That includes our deep MLS search. You're also going to get the data and cell numbers to entire desired developments and neighborhoods. You just tell us where you want to move, and we have the data. That's a $1,000 value right there. Now, you're also going to get 2 direct contacts to that entire desired neighborhood. That's a $1,200 value. You're also going to get our realtor-to-realtor pocket deals and access to coming soon listings that aren't on the market yet. Even though real-time data is very expensive and it's out of reach for most realtors, we feel that it's one of our secret weapons to get you what you want. That's why we've also invested in our realtor-to-realtor relationships so that you get access to those pocket deals. All you need to do is point to a desired neighborhood and then let us do the rest. This is custom real estate at its best. We feel that you shouldn't be limited in your choices. So when you list with us today, you're going to get the basic listing package, which is all of the web syndication, the MLS, and the buyer's agent commission paid. You're going to get negotiating secrets. You're also going to get the segmented buyer list and all of the focused call-in power that goes with that. You're also going to get the 24-hour super sexy marketing package, and you're going to get the off-market inventory package. That's a total value of $10,477 plus 6.5% commission. Now, when I told you at the beginning that I was really going to stack on the value for you, I wasn't kidding, right? Now, if all this did was just put an extra $15,000 in your pocket on a $450,000 house, would it be worth it? What if all this did was just create a bidding war for your property? Would it be worth it then? What if all this did was just bring a sight unseen offer from overseas? Would it be worth it? Now, what if all this did was just get buyers excited even before they showed up at your property? Would it be worth it then? And what if all this did was allow you to finally live in a house in a location that you love? Would it be worth it? I had 2 choices with this. I could go as cheap as possible and try and list as many homes as possible, but the problem with that is I couldn't really stack on the value for you. So I decided to go with the second option, which obviously requires a slightly higher investment on your side. But in exchange for that, we can dedicate more time, energy, and resources to help guarantee your success. So if you had a successful sale in a short amount of time, what would that be worth to you? Now, how much would you pay to have a bidding war, a quick sale, and the perfect new home? You can probably see why people pay $11,000 and a 6.5% commission for me to set this up for them. Because it's not a cost, it's an investment that comes back to them. You've already seen how it's worth it at $11,000 and 6.5% commission, and even at $4,997 and 6.5%, which I coach our current out-of-state agents that are students of ours to charge. It's a great deal at that price. Because I know this can change your life and that you're going to be working with us to buy your next home, you can get started today for just 6% commission. What's amazing is that's the same commission that an inexperienced and part-time dabbler charges. You get all this value and our entire team of agents for the price of one agent. Isn't that awesome? So at this point, you have 2 choices. Choice number 1 is to do nothing. If you do nothing with the information that you've learned over the last hour, what will you get? Nothing. Or you can choose to take this leap of faith and just test it out to see if this will work for you. It's okay if it doesn't work for you because you're covered with our cancel anytime guarantee. You can test drive it now to see if this works for you. You've got nothing to lose. You don't have to make that decision today. Make that decision a month from now. All you have to do today is, if you're thinking, hey, this might work for me, is if you actually think it'll work, then say yes and try it out. But make the decision if you actually want to continue 30 days from now. Don't worry about that decision for now. If you're wondering if this might work for you and you think the answer is yes, then you need to get started. The real question is this: is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out? Even if it only does half of what I've claimed today, it'll pay for itself as soon as you get your first offer, which should be within the first 2 weeks if you follow our advice. If not, you've got nothing to lose. It's that easy. So just to recap, when you list with us today, what that means you're going to get is the MLS base listing. You're going to get the buyer agent commission included in that, the negotiating secrets tool, the huge segmented buyer list that we've got for you, which includes the Smart Match feature, 3 custom marketing pieces. You're going to get 2 direct contacts to that segmented list to push the super sexy marketing package that we have for you with your virtual open house, the 3D VR model. You're also going to get the professional photographer, the professional videographer, the cinematic drone feature. You're also going to get off-market inventory, 2 direct contacts to the entire desired development you want to move to. You're going to get the data and cell numbers. You're also going to get the realtor-to-realtor pocket deals and coming soon inventory. And finally, we're going to do that deep MLS search for you so that we're finding the perfect property for you. And I've got one last thing, and this is only for people who take action and move right now. Not the people who decide in a week from now or in a couple of days, but those who are ready and want to move forward in their life right now, that you're convinced this is the right thing for you. I've got something for you. In your move, when you purchase your next house, we are going to pay for your appraisal. That's a $500 value, and we're going to pay for it for you. But it's only for those that make a decision today. I want to thank you so much for participating in this presentation with me, and I hope you've gotten a lot out of it. If you've decided to move forward, the next step is going to be to determine the correct price for your property. Again, my name is Tim Brooks with the Ultimate Selling Team and Ultimate Listing Systems. I hope you've gotten so much out of this presentation. We're looking forward to serving you. Thank you.